Recovery, recovery, recovery. As you guys can see here, it's been a great day in the markets today, up almost $1,000, and the stock market just shot up today as the jobs report came in and it found out the economy had actually added 2.5 million jobs in the month of May, and the unemployment rate fell to 13%. So that's still actually pretty high, but that's lower than what most economists were thinking of, closer to 19%. I guess being a weatherman isn't the only job where you can be wrong all the time, yet still be employed and have people trust in you every time you make a prediction. Alright guys, so today I'll just be going over the stocks that I purchased, because it doesn't matter if the stock market moves up or down every week. I'm just going to be continuing to deploy money into the markets, buying great companies, accumulating more shares, and accumulating more dividends. I also want to thank everyone who watched the last Q&A video. I was a bit surprised how popular it was and what parts people thought were interesting. I didn't know so many people thought me liking pizza was like the coolest thing. I'll try to mention pizza more on this channel. It seems to be a fan favorite. Maybe I'll even take pictures of the slices of pizza that I'll eat throughout the week and have that going for you guys. Alright guys, so let's get into the actual stocks, and of course I'll also be talking about Amazon later in the video. So the first stock I actually bought today was Realty Income, not Reality. Thanks to the dividend reinvestment program, or DRIP, now O is repurchasing itself every time that a dividend happens. So as you guys can see here, it has a 1.64 dividend happening on June the 15th. So once that happens, once that date reaches, O will just continue to repurchase more and more shares of itself. So that compounding will happen even quicker here. So Realty Income is one of the few stocks that doesn't seem overvalued right now. It's actually still well off its 52-week high of nearly $85. While other stocks in the market have recovered, O still has a way to go. And obviously real estate isn't performing as well as other sectors right now, and that's just because people don't have money to pay rent, or they're not prioritizing it because they know states won't enforce evictions. What I really like about O is that it has most of its customers under long-term triple net leases, which basically means it's up to the tenant to cover property expenses, property taxes, maintenance, insurance, in addition to, of course, rent and utilities. So O actually collected 83% of their rents in April, and I expect that number to continue to go up as more and more places are now starting to open up as a result of the C-19 being somewhat flattened for the time being. Most of their tenants are also considered essential anyway, so this includes businesses such as Walgreens, Dollar General, Walmart, Kroger, and then about 6% of their tenants are movie theaters, which have been some of the hardest hit industries there, and those should even eventually open up soon enough, I believe. And people might knock on diversification sometimes, but I feel like this is exactly where it shines, having properties in basically every state except Hawaii. Being involved in so many different industries as well, from home improvement stores to restaurants to auto repair shops. These are all industries that are going to be having a hard time being replaced by the internet. I have a hard time believing that can be transitioned to online. And sure, it's a great monthly dividend stock, but what I think is actually even more impressive is that they have 26 straight years of increasing the amount of dividends, and that's in addition to their already impressive near 99% occupancy rate over the years. It's consistently able to get near that 100% mark, which is just remarkable. Around a 4.5% dividend yield to start off with on a stock that is still well below its 200-day moving average, that seems like a great deal to me. So that was the first stock I bought. As you guys can see here, the rest of my portfolio. The second stock I actually bought today was Coca-Cola. I added a few more shares. Now Coke is still down about 20% from what it was in the pre-C-19 days. And just because a stock is down, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a great buy or that it's fairly valued. But I do like to buy Coca-Cola because of its strong dividend history of 50 straight years of dividend increases. And that's no easy feat to achieve. That means that they've been through many recessions and they've survived them and came back even stronger. So why is Coca-Cola even down to begin with? Let's think about it with the C-19 situation. Coca-Cola has products that are not being served at bars, at restaurants, at musical events, and sporting events, and that's actually where they make nearly half their total overall sales. Those may still be hurt here in the short run. I do eventually think that we'll be seeing fans again at sporting events, at concerts, and they should be allowed again at some capacity, maybe not at full capacity, but I have a hard time believing all these industries will just continue to remain shut down. Coca-Cola also includes these great brands such as Diet Coke, Fanta, Sprite, and these are some of the most recognizable in the world. I heard a crazy statistic the other day. It went something like, if you try each of Coca-Cola's different beverages once a day, it will take you a whole 9 years to try them all. And I don't know why you would personally want to do that, but that's still pretty cool. Coca-Cola is going to be a big part of the sponsorship in the 2021 Olympics that got postponed, which are being held in Tokyo. Expect this globally recognized company to keep doing big things. And guys, if you guys are liking this content, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to me, and it also encourages me to continue to make more videos. So I also bought another share of Microsoft, which by no means is on any sort of sale or any sort of discount, nor is it undervalued. I made a video last week explaining why I like their business, so be sure to check that video out if you are wondering why I like Microsoft. If you guys are wondering, I continue to use nothing but Microsoft products at work this past week, in case you were worried that I somehow transitioned in just a week. As you guys can see here, I now own $2,000 worth of equity in them, which is great. It's one of my goals, is to get more stocks up to at least $2,000 of equity, and I have just amazing return here. It's $619 or a 43% overall return. Still have a pretty good average cost on Microsoft, and I'll continue to be dollar cost averaging my way with them. All right, so now the real reason why you clicked on this video was to find that I had finally bought a piece of Amazon here. This e-commerce giant, I bought $300 worth of equity in them, and I'll continue to dollar cost average here in terms of buying more equity in Amazon about every month or so now. I wasn't always a big fan of fractional shares, but with companies like Amazon trading at $2,500 or more, this is really the only feasible way to dollar cost average. Now, you're probably wondering what happened here. Am I giving up on dividend investing? Is dividend growth investing just too slow to become rich? And it's not exactly that. It's just that there's about 6 companies that are so large and so massive that they are able to actually carry the rest of the market. And Amazon is one of those companies. When looking at companies to invest in, I often look at the S&P 500 index funds such as VU or SPY, and Amazon actually makes up about 4.25% of the entire ETF. Amazon is up 477% in the last 5 years. Those are phenomenal returns. And by not investing in Amazon, I'm disqualifying myself from getting those returns just because they don't pay a dividend. And that's pretty silly in my opinion. Sure, dividends are nice for that reliability and stability, but Amazon will probably crush Coca-Cola out of the Dasani water in total return over the next 5 years. Just look at this amazing revenue growth in the past 5 years, more than doubling what it was previously. Same story with its rising free cash flow numbers. Net income is also slowly growing. Just remember that Amazon invests a lot of its money right back into its business. I love Amazon because it has its Prime membership model, similar to the Costco one that I mentioned in my Costco video. Basically, this is a recurring revenue for Amazon that customers either pay either monthly or annually for some extra benefits. Currently, they have around 112 million Prime members. If Amazon was its own country of nothing but Prime members, it would be the 12th largest country in the world, right behind Japan and ahead of Ethiopia. Of course, Amazon and its online retail makes up the largest bulk of its revenues, but physical stores sales are growing. Their acquisition of Whole Foods a few years ago definitely helped with that. Amazon is also now the 3rd largest online advertising platform, just behind Google and Facebook. Its Amazon Web Services division has had an amazing profit growth in the last few years, providing services to businesses as well as the US government, among many other governments, where they're able to store information and data. Amazon controls about 1/3 of the whole cloud market. Now, true OG subs of mine would know that I used to own Facebook, but I sold it because I wasn't the biggest fan of social media. And I think this past week and seeing everything that's been going on, I think that totally explains why I didn't like owning it. But owning so many dividend stocks, I think grabbing just a few pure growth stocks like Amazon, that's not a terrible idea. I mean, I do want to achieve my goal of FIRE one day, and that doesn't necessarily always have to be done with nothing but dividend stocks. Having growth stocks like Amazon, which I think will be one of the first stocks to reach $2 trillion in market cap sometime soon, that's going to only expedite my process on reaching FIRE one day. And I might go on a little tangent here, but now people might want to complain about Jeff Bezos' wealth. And some of my favorite pastime activities is going on Twitter and explaining to people that Bezos doesn't actually just have $135 billion sitting around in his bank account. Probably a good portion of that is in Amazon stock, which he doesn't have access to that money unless he sells it. And I'm in no way an Amazon apologetic, but come on guys, you can either hate on Bezos for revolutionizing the way that we purchase items online, or you can get rich with him. And I'm trying to do the later of that. And that's one of the cool things about the stock market is that you can benefit from companies doing really, really well. And Amazon is just one of those that just continues to do better than the S&P 500 year after year. And sure, Amazon gets heavily criticized for its tax avoidance strategies, its working conditions, and a laundry list of other issues. But again, that's up to you to determine what your morals are when it comes to investing. And that's going to be different for everybody, and that's going to be different for every company as well. If you don't like the company, don't give them your business either. If you hate Amazon, no one is forcing you to shop there. And there's been a lot of talk about protests lately, and I personally think that one of the best ways that we can protest is where we determine where we spend that almighty dollar. But anyway, guys, I've invested a total of $820 into the market today, and I added a whole $15.36 in extra dividends that I will be getting paid for probably the rest of my life. And let's hope that Amazon one day does pay a dividend. And right now that's a pretty small yield on cost of 1.87%, but Amazon being thrown in there certainly doesn't help. But I'm hoping for big capital appreciation from all these stocks in the years following. Let me know what you guys think of my buys. What do you guys think of the market's fast recovery? And if you think it will be here to stay. As always, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And know that none of this is financial advice and educational purposes only.